Hi, welcome to the Online Jewelry Academy. I'm Professor John R. and I'm your instructor. In this video, we're going to talk about wax for lost wax casting processes. I don't have enough here, so I guess we're going to have to use some commercial waxes. But first, let's take a look at the mother of all waxes, beeswax. Now, this wax has been around forever, and ancient cultures like the ancient Egyptians made some beautiful things with it, but it has limitations. It's great for being modeled. You can do it by hand or with tools, but it's not so great for additive techniques or even subtractive techniques. And if you're working in a hot desert, heck, it might just melt in your hand. So as society progressed, so did wax. And I've got a few of the varieties of it on the bench right here. First, I've got an injection wax. This is great in an industrial setting for producing multiples. I've got some sheet wax. This is good for molding or for modeling. I've got phyllo waxes. These can be worked with by hand using tools or with mechanized devices. And here's a bunch of wax wires. These can be assembled just like you would regular metal wire. And they come in varieties of shapes and sizes. And over here, I have some inlay waxes. Now, these waxes are great for building, repairing, you name it. So before I go any further, let me just tell you that I know that a bunch of you are already thinking, I need to write a message to Professor R and find out where I get these things. Well, at the end of this video, I'm going to give you some special help to help you find these things. But let's talk about these in greater detail so you can make a determination as to which waxes you need for your project. So first, let's go back to the injection wax. Now, injection wax is used in a large pot in an industrial environment, and individual molds are brought to this pot and injected with the wax once it reaches a temperature where it's liquid. The waxes can be popped out of the molds, sprued up on a sprue tree, and you can get many, many, many unique pieces that are all identical in one casting. So this is great. It has a variety of different types available on the market. They're sold by color, and each color has its own melting temperature, pressure that it flows at, and your ability whether or not you can carve with it or not. The aqua one that I have on the table is a great one. And you've seen this before if you're a regular follower of the OJA. I have a video on it where I used this funny little baking cup and melted some in here in a double boiler to fill a one-sided mold. And it works great. So I would highly recommend that you consider this if you're thinking about making multiples of one of your pieces. Now, next to this, I've got the sheet wax. Now, this is the type of sheet wax that I use most often in my projects. I've got a very light pink 22 gauge sheet wax and a dark green sheet wax that is thicker in its gauge. These are great because they can be pushed into molds, or they can be easily cut with an X-Acto blade and then modeled into a unique shape. Now, they are also used in the dental industry quite a bit, so don't be surprised when you look them up if you find yourself on a website for a dental lab. Behind them, I've got some phyllo wax. Now, there's a difference in the types of shapes that I have here. This one, it's giant, is for making a bracelet. This one is a D blank, and it's called that because you can see it looks like a capital letter D, and it's got a hole drilled through it. You can get these in a variety of shapes, round or D blanks that aren't drilled, but these are designed to help speed up your designing and manufacturing of rings. And here's one that I made using the green D blank. It also comes in a sheet form, and I've got some of the purple sheet and the blue sheet. Now you'll notice that the sheets come in different sizes, there are different thicknesses, and the color makes a difference too. The blue is the softest. The hardest is the green. The green may actually require you to use a mechanized device like a flex shaft in order to be able to carve and create your design with it. But this material is highly carvable, and you can achieve great detail. Here's a couple of little medallions. And another cool thing is you can combine these waxes, and we have a video on how to make a bezel like this one. Now over here, what I've got are the wax wires. Now wax wires are great, and they come in a variety of waxes. You can get them in the blue or the green, which means you can have either a softer wire, which was easy to put around a form, or a green wire, which is a little bit stiffer. It'll still go around a form, but it gives you the opportunity to carve on top of it, which is great. Now, you can buy small segments or you can buy a larger length. It's up to you. But what's amazing is that they come in every profile that you could possibly imagine and in any gauge. So if you need a thick wire or a thin wire, it's easy to find them. The way that we join the wax wires together is with this material over here. This is Inlay Wax. Inlay Wax is great. You can use it to build up in an additive way, or you can join things, or you can make repairs. Now, I generally use these three types. There's red, blue, and purple. They're slightly different from one another, but they all pretty much work the same. But let me tell you what the differences are. The red is the hardest one. The red will join things together. It's great for buildup, and it kind of firms up to a point where you can actually carve a little bit of detail into it. The blue one is really the workhorse. You can use it for almost anything in terms of adding and building up layers and joining, but it's a little soft, so it's not going to accept carving as readily. It might clog up your tool. The purple is primarily for repair. It flows like water. So for example, if you carve a ring and your client wants to try it on and oops, she cracked it, you can mend it with the purple. It'll flow right into the crack. But you probably don't want to monkey too much with the project after that. You just will wait and refine the surface later after casting. Now, we've used these waxes in an additive process in a video where I made this project for a cast-in-place stone. So the blue inlay holds all of the blue wires in place around a cubic zirconia. And this is a really interesting project, so you might want to check out that video as well. I hope this information helps you out. Now, here's the special tip on how you're going to shop for this. Number one, you're going to look in the description of the video because I'm going to give you some key search terms in the description. What are those used for? That magic box that you're sitting in front of. Type them into the computer, into whatever search engine you want to use, and do some comparative price shopping. You'll be surprised at how many different vendors sell this type of material. Now remember, you may end up on some websites that are geared towards dental labs, but don't be afraid to check it out. Sometimes they have better prices than a jewelry supplier, and you never know, you might end up in an Etsy shop for all you know. Now, if you'd like to support the production of future Online Jewelry Academy videos, you can do so with a contribution through patreon.com. And remember, you can always find the complete Online Jewelry Academy playlist on our website at onlinejewelryacademy.com. We regularly post to Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and check out our new course on udemy.com. It's a complete jewelry making course for beginners called Colorful Silver Jewelry. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to become a subscriber to the channel, like the video, share it with your friends, and come back for more. Thanks for watching.